I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Today, we're in Mark chapter 9, and let's focus on verses 49 and 50. For everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if the salt should lose its saltiness, how can you make it salty? Have salt among yourselves and be at peace with one another. And I heard a comedian once say, I bought some powdered water. I don't know what to add. Perhaps similar logic could be used to explain the uselessness of saltless salt. Theologians have tried to explain this passage from several different angles over the years. First, in the days of Jesus, salt was a valuable commodity. Soldiers were partially paid in salt. As a matter of fact, the word soldier comes from the Latin term saldare, meaning to give salt. And our word salary comes from a similar Latin word, salarium, meaning to get salt. In today's passage, the image of fire is obviously speaking of a trial or of a difficult season. And taking this approach, Jesus could have been saying that our worth will be determined, or at least evaluated, by how well we endure suffering. That is, the trials that we face should bring us to an understanding of the value of our faith. Furthermore, if the trial exposes that we are unfaithful, well then what good is our religion, that is the outward expression of our faith, if it's founded on such weak faith? In such a case, corrupted religion must be scrapped and hauled away, and then true religion, the outworking of our faith, should be brought in order to establish the proper faithful foundation. Now, continuing with that line of thought, Jesus would have been directing his disciples to have peace with one another by seeing each individual's value to the kingdom, as a soldier is worth his salt, as it were, and has value to the Roman Empire. Now, another approach to saltiness is that temple sacrifices had to be seasoned with salt as a sign of the permanence of God's covenant. Consider Leviticus chapter 2, verse 13. It says this, you are to season each of your grain offerings with salt, and you must not omit from your grain offering the salt of the covenant with your God. Then, of course, there's Romans chapter 12, verse 1 that says, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, I urge you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual worship. See, in this case, Jesus would be saying that the trials we endure act as a preservative reminder of God's covenant with us through the Messiah, Jesus. So trials make us cry out to the Lord. And when God responds faithfully, well, then our faith is strengthened. If our flesh compels us to rebel against the Lord because of the trial, well, then it would just be better to abandon your flesh in favor of your faith. Additionally, the strength of a healthy church is that it holds us accountable and it encourages our relationship in the Lord. Here's what is obvious. The Christian life is not absence of conflict. Rather, it is the presence of peace in the midst of conflict, which should distinguish us as belonging to Jesus. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Check us out at www.groundworksministries.com.